The smallest mistakes that killed millions. A driver makes one wrong turn. A car stops in front of the wrong man. 37 days later, Europe is at war. 4 years later, millions are dead. And the mistake was not the gunshot. It was everything that happened after it. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand traveled through Sarajevo. Earlier that morning, assassins had already tried to kill him. A bomb was thrown at his car. It missed. The assassination appeared to have failed. Then, Franz Ferdinand decided to visit wounded officers at a hospital. His driver was not clearly told about the new route. He turned onto the wrong street. When the mistake was noticed, the car stopped. Only a few feet away stood Gavrilo Princip, one of the assassins who had already given up. Princip stepped forward and fired twice. Franz Ferdinand and his wife were dead within minutes. But 2 bullets did not automatically create a world war. Europe's leaders still had weeks to stop it. Instead, Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia. Germany backed Austria. Russia prepared to defend Serbia. France supported Russia. Germany invaded Belgium. Britain joined the war. A wrong turn placed the match. Pride, alliances, and fear lit it. By the end of World War I, empires had collapsed and millions were dead. But centuries earlier, another ruler made an even simpler mistake. He answered a request for justice with an insult, and his empire vanished. In the early 1200s, a Mongol trade caravan entered the Khwarezmian Empire. The governor of Otrar accused the merchants of spying. He seized their goods and killed nearly everyone. Genghis Khan did not immediately invade. He sent diplomats to Shah Muhammad II. He asked for the governor to be punished. The Shah could have apologized. Instead, he killed one Mongol envoy and humiliated the others. To the Mongols, harming an ambassador was an act of war. Genghis Khan turned his armies west. Cities were surrounded. Populations were slaughtered. The Khwarezmian Empire collapsed with terrifying speed. Entire regions were devastated because one ruler believed an apology would make him look weak. The next mistake was made while trying to grow more food, and it began with a bird. In 1958, China launched the 4 Pests campaign. Rats, flies, mosquitoes, and sparrows were marked for destruction. Sparrows were blamed for eating grain. Millions of people destroyed nests, smashed eggs, and banged pots to keep the birds flying until they died from exhaustion. At first, the campaign looked successful. Then, insects multiplied. Sparrows had eaten grain, but they had also eaten crop-destroying insects. Without the birds, locusts spread across fields. Crops failed. Food shortages worsened. The sparrow campaign was not the main cause of the Great Chinese Famine. Forced farming policies, false reports, and grain seizures mattered far more. But destroying a major predator made the disaster worse. Tens of millions died during the wider famine. The idea had sounded simple. Birds eat grain. Kill the birds. Save the grain. Nature was more complicated than the slogan. But some mistakes begin with inventions that work too well. In the 1920s, Thomas Midgley Jr. helped create leaded gasoline. Adding lead stopped engines from knocking. The fuel worked, but factory workers began suffering hallucinations, seizures, and death. Lead was already known to be dangerous. Still, the product spread worldwide. For decades, cars released lead into streets, soil, homes, and human bodies. Midgley later helped develop CFCs for refrigerators and aerosol products. They seemed safe. Years later, scientists discovered they were destroying the ozone layer that protects Earth from ultraviolet radiation. 2 inventions solved immediate problems. Both created damage that was almost invisible. That made them harder to stop. That is the pattern connecting these disasters. The original mistake was rarely the final cause. The catastrophe came when people refused to reverse it. A driver took the wrong street. A Shah refused to apologize. A government tried to conquer nature. An invention was defended after workers died. History is not only changed by powerful armies. Sometimes it turns because one person is embarrassed, one warning is ignored, or one small mistake is allowed to become permanent. The most dangerous words in history may not be, "We made a mistake." They may be, "It is too late to turn back."